Hi, Bill. Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year, Doug.
I know this is kind of a broad question, and you guys do still have one game left on the schedule, but uh, obviously, offensively, things haven't gone probably according to expectation for you guys this year. Just curious what you think has gone wrong for the offense so far this year.
Yeah, um, inconsistency in a lot of areas. And I think, like obviously coaching wise, that's what it's all about. We have to do a better job of finding consistency, and that's, a lot of that's coaching. I think that the turnovers have been a problem. We've been inconsistent, relative to we've turned the ball over way too much, which is obviously evident in this game last weekend. We've been inconsistent with our protection, with our run blocking up front. We've been inconsistent in the passing game. Again, I accept responsibility for that. That comes down to doing a better job of coaching, and hopefully we'll do a better job of coaching this week and get these guys ready to go.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And next question, Sophie Weller.
Hi, Bill. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Sophie.
I was just curious as you enter the last game of your first season back with the team, how can you just sum up the experience of being back, even with all the ups and downs of the season?
Oh, it's been good to be back. I mean, I take a lot of pride in working for this organization. Take a lot of pride in calling myself a Patriot assistant coach and working for the Crafts and working for Bill and working with these players. These players have been, awesome to work with. You got guys like David Andrews, is just, and a lot of guys like that just come to work every single day. And so it's been great to work with these guys.
And
Thank you.
Next question, Andrew Callahan.
Hey, Happy New Year, Bill. How'd you spend your New Year's Day?
We were in here. Yeah, we were working. We were working, and then we got out of here and went home. But I mean, we were working. Happy New Year, though.
Yeah, I hear that. I just want to ask you, going back to just about a year ago now, when you came in, I know you came in with Will, someone you had familiarity with. The rest of the staff you had never worked with before, obviously sans Bill. How did you navigate that, bringing in a system and working with guys who were unfamiliar and obviously some of them being inexperienced?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think that's something that I've been through before, whether as a head coach or as a coordinator at other places where I hadn't worked with people or, had to bring people together. And that's, I think that's a little bit of a strength of mine. So we were able to come together very quickly, and, we have a hardworking staff. It hasn't been easy. We've had some things that we've had to deal with over the course of the year, but that's just like that for every staff, right? But yeah, I think that we work well together. Obviously, it hasn't always shown up that way on the field, but it's not from a lack of effort. These guys take a lot of passion, take a lot of pride, and put a lot of work and have a lot of passion for their jobs, and it's been a good group to work with this staff.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Next question, Taylor Kyles.
Hey, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. I was wondering, in the modern NFL, it feels like all these like hyper athletic quarterbacks, it almost feels like people think you need that kind of guy to succeed. I was wondering, you've got two like prototypical pocket passers with Mack and Bailey, and I was wondering from your perspective, is there still a place in the modern NFL for the pocket passers, or is the league kind of trending in the direction where sometimes you just need that added athleticism with all these, interior rush or pass rushers that are making it really hard on these guys in the pocket?
Yeah, it's a great question. Look, I think that both the guys, and now with the addition of Nathan Rourke that we have right now, these guys have athletic ability. They're able to move. You can see Bailey last week was able to move around in the pocket. He had a 17-yard scramble for a touchdown. He had another 18-yard scramble that was a really good play. So he did a good job. There were times when Mac was in there that did a good job. But I think you're right. The ability to have the athleticism to move around, and with the athleticism of the defensive lines that you're facing, being able to make off schedule plays is important. It's important. And, I think we have guys, I wouldn't call our guys pocket passers. I think they have the ability to move. And, but yeah, I do think there's obviously you see a lot of quarterbacks around the league that have success, making off-schedule plays, no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, Chris Ryan.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, Chris.
Wanted to ask about Bailey's game on Sunday, where again you kind of highlighted the inconsistency of the season. It felt like that was kind of the case again, particularly with the turnovers early, and then he had put some good plays together. Is there any rationale as to that type of inconsistency from Bailey's just learning the position and getting reps, in particular with the starts?
Yeah, I look. First of all, I would give Bailey a lot of credit. There are many quarterbacks that that may have gone in there and not been able to deal with that the way Bailey did. Bailey, he'd be the first to tell you that he made some couple poor decisions. Then there were a couple that weren't his fault. That's the way it is in football. But he was able to come back, and obviously with the help of the defense, we were able to crawl back into the game. And Bailey's ability to stay consistent and play the next play is a good trait that he has. And so, look, I think at the end of the day, like I said earlier, it's about coaching, it's about playing, and it's about those groups coming together and being able to execute on the field, especially at the start of the game, especially on the road. You're on the road, and you got to be able to weather the storm a little bit on the road and not make those big mistakes. And we just have to do a better job of that. Now, obviously we only have one game left. We're at home, but those things for Bailey in the future, just being able to start on the road with some success is something that I'm sure he'll focus on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question, Bob Sosi.
Thanks, Steph. Good morning, Bill. Happy New Year.
Same to you, Bob.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You mentioned David Andrews, and in a season where attrition has really taken its toll, and you've had adversity even on the coaching staff with Adrian's situation, I want to ask you to expound on your thoughts regarding him and the value of his position by nature, but particularly his role as center and captain and what he's meant to this team this season, considering that he's really the one longtime Patriot who's been out there on that unit.
Yeah, I would tell you, I've been so fortunate in my career, Bob, to have been around some of the best players, some of the best pros, best college players. I just been very fortunate to be around some really, really good players in 31 years. And David is he's just one of the best pros I've been around. He shows up every day. He's beat up. You take a beating in there playing center in this league. He's an excellent leader. He's very smart. He gets the blocking straight up front. He shows up every day on the practice field. He puts the time in. These are the type of guys you love to be around. You love to coach. We have other guys like that. Other veteran players. Not to list them all, but there's a lot of really good veteran players. But David, can't say enough about what David's done from a leadership standpoint, from a playing standpoint, and just everything that he brings to this organization every day.
Bill, thank you.
Thank you.
And next question, Nick O'Malley.
Hey, Bill, I want to ask, is there a scenario where Mac Jones gets a chance to play in the final game of the season, or is it the plan to, no matter what, stick with Bailey in the final game?
I always think, Nick, that everybody needs to be ready to play. I think that's important. I think that everybody that's on the game day roster needs to be ready to play. Bailey will start the game, but I would say that Mac needs to be ready to play. Everybody does. I think that's very important as a player when you show up on game day. If you're on the game day roster, you better be ready to go at a moment's notice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And final question from Mike Giardi.
Happy New Year, Bill.
Happy New Year, Mike.
I don't know that we've asked you this. Maybe we did at some point. You're still a young man. You've been a head coach at a bunch of different levels. Does Bill O'Brien still aspire to be a head coach somewhere down the road?
I think the big thing for me right now, Mike, and I appreciate the question, is just to really, try to do the best we can to get us back in the win column on Sunday. I think, you're right. I've been doing this a long time. If you asked me that question 10 years ago, I might have answered it a little differently. I've had a lot of different experiences in this profession. I've had a lot of good years, some not so good years. I've experienced a lot, not saying I've experienced as much as, say, Bill Belichick, haven't done it for 50 years, but I've done it for a lot of years, and I have a lot of experience. And so I'm just trying to, within those experiences, I've learned one thing, and that's to focus on the task at hand, because once you start thinking about a lot of other things, like, you're not going to be really focused and do the best job you can for the players. I'm just being honest with you. So I aspire to do a great job coaching today, and really aspire to go out and try to beat the Jets help the team beat the Jets on Sunday.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.